Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
What an interesting day in the markets. Quiet economic day. We get retail sales tomorrow. The CPI was yesterday, but in it is a shocking two-day lift in the markets, and even green on the screen here this morning. We'll see how we end up through the day in the stock market. We celebrated last week Rick Atkinson with us, the second volume of his American Revolution. That's a book of the summer. I had to go with two books of the summer because Ken Rogoff is out with Our Dollar, Your Problem. Call it my economic book of the summer, hugely focused on the dollar and, of course, our worries about debt and deficit. Our Dollar, Your Problem, Our Debt and Your Problem. Here is Ken Rogoff.
If you believe that it's going to stay on the higher side, as I do, debt is very high and it does gradually push up interest rates. The whole world, for better or for worse, is remilitarizing. Populism, deglobalization, which we discussed earlier, also pushes up interest rates. All of these things, I think we could easily see the 10-year at, now I'm talking about the nominal, which is now 4.4 or something like that. We could see it at 5.5, 6 within a couple years, given how things are going. There are some very smart people, young economists, who think, nope, this is a aberration. We're going to go back on that downward ride, and debt is a free lunch after all. That seems to me a very risky thing to bet the farm on.
In the span of your 2025, what you just heard is without question one of the great outliers of the year. I would suggest an awful lot of people I talk to anecdotally, our tendency is towards the camp of Ken Rogoff, of price down and yield up, and a 5.5 or even 6% yield. That's an extraordinary statement by Ken Rogoff, and is another reason to consider his book, Our Dollar, Your Problem. Again, Professor Rogoff on America.
I think we've hit the peak, and I think, I'm not an investor, but I would say this is a moment to think about diversification more. I see Europe with its forced remilitarization, with its catch-up, probably outperforming the United States. China, not so much, but it's going to break away from the United States. Thank you for mentioning Western New York is a wasteland, because I actually talk a lot about our joint hometown of Rochester quite a bit in the book. But I see certainly the dollar staying on top, but less on top. You mentioned Barry Eichengreen. I mean, he wrote, and many of us thought 20 years ago that we were headed to a more tripolar world. I think we're back on course to that. We'll lose some of our exceptionalism. It will hurt in national security, too. There will be other pathways to do transactions. Our sanctions won't be as effective. Our spying won't be as effective. And a number of other things I think Americans are going to have to adjust. But I think we're going to have a crisis of some sort first, because no politician can rein it in until we do that, have one.
Kenneth Rogoff, it's a remarkably slim book. This is not 400 or 800 pages like Rick Atkinson's American Revolution treatment. This is a blistering 250 or so pages. Our Dollar, Your Problem. I won't mince words. You got a kid home this summer and they're whining about their bored and they need something to read. Throw Our Dollar, Your Problem at them. And it is really scintillating. Look back over 20, 30, 40 years and then forward to the next America. This is Single Best Idea. We're out on YouTube podcasts and, of course, the commute across the nation. And again, Single Best Idea.